Welcome, focused learners, to today's Explainer. We're putting on our cultural anthropologist hats today to observe a truly fascinating, rapidly growing digital ecosystem. What we're looking at is a massive online movement that really crystallized around June of 2026. If you look closely at the data and the content being produced across the internet, well, you start to see a very distinct pattern. We're talking about thousands of everyday people literally packing up their lives, leaving the United States, and documenting every single step of it online. So, we're going to look strictly at the source material generated by these creators to understand what exactly is driving this digital exodus. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to unpack the triggers, the demographics, and the ultimate consequences of this movement. First up, the new American exodus. Number 2, the cost of living crisis. Third, who is being forced out? And finally, redefining the American dream.
Section 1. The New American Exodus.
To truly understand this trend, we absolutely have to look at the primary voices driving the conversation. Take the creator Raising Wildflowers, for example, who posted a video titled, "I left the USA but can't ignore what's happening to Americans." In it, they state, and I quote, "Ignoring rising costs, financial stress, healthcare struggles, and the reality many families face won't make those problems disappear." You see, this isn't just a fun travel vlog. It's a heavily documented financial escape. They are explicitly framing their relocation as a direct response to systemic domestic struggles. Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer scale of the audience resonating with this message. It's honestly staggering. This is definitely not a niche grievance. We're seeing videos like "Alone, broke, over 60, I sold everything to start over," sitting at a massive 2.8 million views. Raising Wildflowers' own video detailing their escape from poverty hit nearly 771,000 views. And claims like "Why everyone is leaving the USA" are pulling in almost 100,000 views in a matter of days. We are witnessing millions of people engaging with this really deep sentiment of economic displacement. Section 2. The cost of living crisis. So what exactly are they running from? If you look at the metadata and the viral catalyst behind this content, you find a very clear trail of financial anxiety. Let's quickly rattle off some of these specific hashtags found directly in the source description of that Raising Wildflowers video. Hashtag cost of living, hashtag healthcare, hashtag inflation, hashtag wealth gap, hashtag middle class, and hashtag economic crisis. They also use tags like hashtag rural America and hashtag poverty in America. These aren't just trendy buzzwords, right? They represent a digital footprint of the exact economic pressures forcing a massive rethink of where it's actually viable to live. This leads to a fascinating and pretty stark contrast in cultural narratives. Historically, we've always viewed America as the land of opportunity, but the reality presented by these viral creators paints a very different picture. I mean, one highly viewed video is literally titled, "No Healthcare, Undrinkable Water, Millions of Americans Are Living in Third World USA." Remaining entirely impartial here, we're simply observing that the traditional historical narrative is heavily fracturing within this digital space. These creators are viewing their home country not as a place of boundless opportunity, but a place of pure survival. And to really ground this internet trend in everyday reality, we only need to look at another piece of content organically recommended right alongside these expat videos. There's a video titled, "How Homeless People Make Vans Look Empty and Stay Undetected for Years." It generated 182,000 views in just 3 weeks. This documents a state of survival mode where individuals are taking extreme, stealth measures just to exist without housing costs. I ask you to just reflect on modern economic pressures for a second, especially when a video about hiding in an empty-looking van is grouped by the algorithm with videos about fleeing the country altogether. It paints a vivid, rather somber picture of the push factors at play here. Section 3. Who is being forced out? Okay, so we know why they're leaving, but exactly who is packing their bags? 40%. I want to really punch in on this specific statistic presented in the source network. A video by Michael Bordenero claims that more than 40% of Americans are being forced to retire. While we're looking at this as a self-reported creator stat, it highlights a massive perceived demographic shift. This isn't just about young backpackers taking a fun gap year. This ecosystem is heavily focused on older generations being economically pushed out of their expected life trajectories. And this brilliantly illustrates how that macro statistic translates into heartbreaking human reality. This highly viewed video title, "Alone, Broke, Over 60, I Sold Everything to Start Over," connects that 40% forced retirement anxiety to a deeply personal, viral story. It's the very real story of a senior citizen fleeing because the math of staying simply doesn't work anymore. Summarizing the diverse cross-section of the population we're observing in these algorithmic recommendations, we can see this impacts multiple tax brackets. You have retirees seeking affordability abroad. As noted in the video, hundreds of thousands of USA retirees are fleeing. You have the working class actively trying to escape what they call poverty. You have the middle class being squeezed hard by inflation. And fascinatingly, you have workers quitting in mass, which is highlighted by the video 20 reasons people are quitting their jobs in masses, even in the worst job market ever. Honestly, the demographic is practically everyone feeling the squeeze. Section 4, Redefining the American Dream. Let's move to and see how this builds into the ultimate solution these creators are selling to their massive audiences. Directly from their source descriptions, here is the new psychological and geographical blueprint. Step 1, stop just surviving in the US. Step 2, build financial freedom, often through the financial literacy curriculums they link to. Step 3, relocate abroad to far more affordable regions, with specific mentions of places like Southeast Asia and their community tags. Essentially, they are repackaging the pursuit of happiness as the pursuit of a lower cost of living across the globe. So the crucial point is, when you objectively summarize the push and pull factors driving this trend, a very clear picture emerges. On the push side, creators are fleeing a healthcare crisis, a brutal job market, and actually, rather surprisingly, many claim to notice something disturbing about American food only after they leave. On the pull side, well, they're drawn to affordable homesteading, actual financial literacy, and building vibrant new communities abroad. It's a complete environmental swap designed to regain economic control. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative thought, drawn directly from the ethos of the source material. If the American dream is genuinely becoming too expensive to maintain at home, will the ultimate luxury in the future simply be the ability to pack up and leave? It's a fascinating question about our financial futures, and clearly one that millions of viewers are already trying to answer. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.